We have just seen Bitcoin move towards the upside in the start of this news phase, and now we're moving towards the downside. And you may be wondering what's happening for the Bitcoin price, and that's exactly what I'm going to be covering. We just had our US unemployment data come in 4.3% as expected, and we had our non-farm payrolls actually drop to 22% than they expected 75%, which is very, very bullish for markets, and this is indicating that an interest rate cut is going to be coming. So we need to be talking about why this bullish news perhaps is not priced in fully yet, why we're dumping at the minute, and all the relevant charts and data pieces that I have prepared for you guys. And we're going to be going over Ethereum also, so make sure to be staying tuned. And with that being said, let's not waste any time. Let's get straight away in towards this banger. Bow. So as you can see, we've got some news coming in, and we had our news actually bullish for rate cuts, and we can see the probabilities have now shifted in towards a normal rate cut or a double rate cut. So we're confirmed to be getting an interest rate cut, but it depends whether we're going to be getting a single rate cut or a double rate cut. And right now the probabilities lie at 88.4% for one rate cut, and for a double rate cut it's at 11.6%. So as you can see, recently we just had a massive move towards the upside off of that news, but recently we just got a massive move towards the downside now, and I think this move towards the downside is just a leverage flush. We can see that in the 24-hour scale we've got about $355 million being wrecked from the longs mainly. So you can see 215 million of that was from longs right now. So this massive move towards the downside is essentially from the longs being actually flushed right now. So that's essentially why we're dumping. But if we zoom out, we can still see that we're actually holding this massive support level in and around the 107k mark over there. So we can see that that is still holding up, which is quite good for Bitcoin. And we're looking at this chart now, and we can see that we still haven't reclaimed our 112,500 level on a closing basis. We did wick above it just slightly, but we didn't close above it. So we're still waiting for Bitcoin to actually reclaim this level to actually flip fully bullish, because we said that we need to actually put in a higher high on a closing basis, and that's where we're going to be seeing Bitcoin move towards the upside. So at the minute we haven't actually done that, and we're still below this massive support level. So again, this is resistance until it's actually turned into a support. And once we actually reclaim 112,500, that's where I'm going to be turning majorly bullish. So that's what we're going to be seeing for this chart over here. But again, Bitcoin's actually trading in this massive falling wedge pattern that has a bullish bias. And so far we have actually broke out from this pattern. So that's actually looking quite good for the Bitcoin price. So at the minute, we're still waiting for further continuation and a reclaim of this mid-range level. And this mid-range again is around the 112k level over there. So once Bitcoin can actually reclaim that level, that's where we're going to be seeing Bitcoin trade towards this next resistance point, which is around our all-time highs and potentially further. So looking at the Bitcoin price right now, we can see that we're actually trading in this power of 3 model, where potentially this is a massive manipulation phase at the minute. So we can see the Bitcoin's actually trading over here, and it's having a massive manipulation after some accumulation. So that's actually looking quite good. And if we can actually again reclaim this $112 level, then we can be going into the distribution phase where we have a massive upside move. So right now, essentially, just a few charts I've covered indicates the relevant level to be reclaiming, which is 112,500. And of course, the fact that we're still actually potentially forming some bullish structures here indicates that this dump is not something you should be getting too bearish on, and you should not be getting fooled like the title suggests. This is just minor dump on the lower time frames, and this is nothing to be worrying about. Furthermore, we can see that Bitcoin's actually holding a 21-week exponential moving average still, which is quite good, and we still have our 50 below. And we did mention that the 21-week exponential moving average has been quite good in previous bull markets, but at the minute we did trade below it quite a few times and few occasions. So the massive moving average to be looking at if we do get a major correction is this 50-week moving average, which is the blue one. And you can see this is the 50 EMA and 50 SMA band, which is why it has a shaded area. But you can see that if we do come in towards this level now, in the event that we actually do break down, then the target is going to be around 100k. That's going to be the key level. And you can see that 100k is another key level because we had previous reactions at this point. So again, that's the area that we're going to be looking for Bitcoin to bounce if we continue towards the downside. And this is the measured move from this double top formation pattern taken from the peak of the cup to the neckline. And if we take it to the point where we rejected, this is the area that we're going to be looking for Bitcoin to trade if we can't reclaim 112,500. But I do think that it's still likely that we do reclaim that area, because we have the majority of the liquidity still actually residing above us. The majority is still actually above price. Below price, there's a bit around 106k in towards 105k, but again, it may not be enough to actually bring us all the way down to 100k. So right now the majority is above us, and it's likely that Bitcoin can actually potentially reclaim this $112,500 level and start to enter this distribution phase. Now, I've been talking about the September trap a lot on the channel, and we said that this year, which is the third post-halving year so far that I've highlighted, is essentially going to be the year that we have a bullish September, because previously we've had bearish Septembers, and people are thinking that because we've had a correlation of bearish Septembers, it's going to continue. But I've mentioned that this is not going to be the case, since we had a negative August, and previous times we had a massively positive August, so it was more likely September was negative. But right now we've already dipped so much, so there's only so many sellers that there's going to be in the Bitcoin price, and essentially it leaves room for buyers to be buying up cheaper Bitcoin. And right now we can see that Bitcoin's already dumped towards the downside. But a chart I want to be covering essentially is this chart over here, where Bitcoin has seen that massive move to the downside already last year in 2024. And then this is where we entered the September region, where we had a massive move towards the upside now, after Bitcoin was lagging gold that was moving towards the upside. And we can see gold is already moving towards the upside quite nicely, hitting a new all-time high, and Bitcoin has been moving down in towards September right now. So we're already in September, and it's likely we get the move towards the upside. So I'm not going to be being bearish. I think that you can see that Bitcoin has already had that move towards the downside, and the seasonality suggests that we're going to be seeing a move to the upside now in towards the end of September and October. So of course we've already had a pullback, and I do think that it is likely that if we do reclaim the $112,500 level, that's where we're going to be getting massively bullish. So if we can reclaim that level, I think that this is going to be a massive, bullish sign for Bitcoin. But if we can't reclaim the level, then of course it's likely we move towards the downside. But again, we've already seen that dip in August, just like we did in 2024 with gold rising, and it's likely Bitcoin's actually finished lagging the gold price right now, and it's likely to actually catch up. So if you're liking the video and you're agreeing with my opinion, and you want to be taking some trades in altcoins and Bitcoin yourself, make sure to check that first link down below. That first link down below is for Bittunex, which is a non-KYC exchange that's global, so you can be trading from anywhere in the world. And right now they're offering my community a massive 20% on your deposit, so I will not be missing out on this massive deal. You can see the Bittunex is offering you guys a massive 20% on your deposit, and if you deposit $2,000 like you can see over here, you're going to be getting $400 in free money to be trading with. That's $400 in free money, so I will not be missing out on that. And that's the first link down below for Bittunex. You could be getting that massive bonus right there, and you could be trading with free money, and you could be taking some positions. For example, if we do reclaim that $112,500 level, you can actually be looking at Bitcoin actually going a lot higher, and again you could be using the free money to be trading that move. So as for Ethereum, you can see that we've actually moved towards the upside, and we're having that massive pullback now, but again there's still some liquidity above us compared to below us. So again, it looks like Ethereum is likely to still move towards the upside. However, we can actually move towards the downside in the short term. And I did mention that if we can't actually hold this level, which is the $4,300 level, then it's likely Ethereum actually moves towards the $4,100 level. But you can see we're at some minor support right now, but I still do think that the major level to pay attention to is 4,100 and 4,300. If Ethereum can actually reclaim 4,300, then we do have license to actually move towards the upside a lot more. But again, recently we've been piercing through this level a bit too much, so I do think that 4,100 is the next level to be paying attention to, where we're going to be getting a major bounce. In addition, you can see that we've been trading in this falling wedge pattern, and we've been retesting it quite a bit. So perhaps we can actually adjust this a little bit more so that it's a bit more accurate, and we can actually account for a valid breakout. And you can see if we extend the lines a bit more, it's actually within the pattern without actually breaking out just yet. So of course the markets shift and change, and of course we have to adapt, so we can actually shift our lines to actually accommodate for the recent price action, which has just been sideways. So of course, until we can get a valid breakout and an actual higher high, since Ethereum is still putting in lower highs as you can see, then of course we're going to be moving towards the upside if that's the case. But right now we're still putting in lower highs, so until we can actually get a valid higher high, so until we can break above 4,460 over here, that's where we're going to be seeing Ethereum actually shift market structure. So right now it's in a downtrend, and the next level to be watching is that $4,100 mark, like I've mentioned. But if we don't get to 4,100, the next thing you want to be looking at, given we reclaimed 4,300, is a high for Ethereum. We need to be clearing our previous high, and then that's where you're going to be seeing Ethereum actually move towards the upside a lot faster. Now for that longer term for Ethereum, it's likely we can move towards the upside a lot higher, and the reason I'm saying that is the fact that we're repeating history from prior cycles. So you can see in 2020 we had a V-shaped recovery, and we're in the period now where we're going to be gearing up for that massive breakout. So this is the time to be accumulating as much Ethereum as possible. We've got our second bullish tick on our histogram for the MACD for Ethereum, and this is indicating that there's a lot of strength from Ethereum to come. So I'm not going to be getting bearish on Ethereum, and I think taking advantage of deals like this, which is Bitunix offering you 20% on your deposit, is going to be allowing you to accumulate that Ethereum in the long term. We can also see that Ethereum versus Bitcoin is breaking its 8-year trend line, and of course once we actually continue to actually soar above it, we're going to be seeing a lot of a strength in Ethereum. So I'm not going to be getting bearish long term again. This is a massive opportunity to be actually loading up on that Ethereum. We actually talked about this Ethereum validated queue last time, saying that there's a lot of retail actually selling whilst large investors actually accumulate. And at the minute, we're actually seeing that validated queue, we're actually seeing a lot more entries than exit at the minute. And I was telling you guys that as Ethereum is moving towards the downside, there's a lot of people still actually moving to actually buy Ethereum. And you may ask, who are those people looking to buy Ethereum? And you can see it clearly by this chart. It's the large investors are looking to buy Ethereum and actually enter this queue, whilst retail are looking to exit this queue. So this is actually a massive signal indicating that yes, this is the time to be majorly bullish on Ethereum, and this is the time to be loading up before that massive Q4 that we talked about, when we're going to be seeing these massive returns towards the upside. So that'll be it for me. Make sure to be following me on X to be staying up to date with all my updates, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Have a blessed rest of your day. Peace guys, see ya, bye bye.